Hi, good afternoon. This is session 19 of Souls of Steel. I figured I'd start doing these sort of like little intros before the actual heart of the session gets going, kind of like a what to expect for the session. I know I put in the comments, but kind of just giving a highlight. So this is Act 2 of The Coming Storm. So our uh, the party has now kind of gotten into full swing of realizing the threat of the swarm and what they need to do to kind of like make things happen now that the threat is looming. Um, After having made upgrades to their ship, they head over to Absalom Station to kind of like get some more answers before heading out. There's a follow up with John's whole idea of overthrowing the government, the Pact World Council, and where that goes, and then um, kind of seen the paranoia of Ryo really kick in as well. So some really good RP this session is basically the main focus, but it's interesting to kind of see the headspace of the party as they're kind of feeling the overwhelming responsibility of needing to solve this threat that's coming into the system. But hope you guys enjoy watching. If you like these videos, please give it a like. Feel free to subscribe if you want to see them. I would say at least once a week we get one of these up, but any little bit of support helps out the channel. I know it's kind of in its infancy right now, but and we appreciate you watching. But if you really like it, the YouTube algorithm gets a boost from having that sort of like button hit. So thank you guys and enjoy watching. Well, thank you guys for joining me for session 19 of Souls of Steel.
That's a record. The amount of sessions I've made it.
Yeah, in a row. Yeah, I think you're on like 4 in a row.
Wow, congratulations. Thank you so much.
Wow.
It's an honor. It's an honor.
Okay. So, in our last session, we picked up right after your guys' conversation with Kumar, or we kind of picked up where the conversation was still going.
Stella Cruz.
Primax Kumara Mela Cruz.
Yes.
Never gonna remember that.
No, normally he calls her like Kamala Harris. You guys had continued on the conversation with her. There was a brief little bit where it was implied that your monthly stipend that you'd been receiving potentially would increase, but the inner circle really had the reins on whether or not that was going to happen or not. You guys briefly discussed with her about the next steps on what to do. Basically, how concrete was that 2-month timeline that she had given you? What she kind of told you is like that's the sublight ships that they saw on the like early warning detectors, but it doesn't count for any of the ships that have void engine capabilities because they were already in the solar system and they didn't know they were there. So basically saying you have 2 months as far as they can tell, but there's probably swarm ships that can come in earlier than that, or as you guys already know, there's plenty of swarm ships already in the solar system.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
She also
I feel so overwhelmed.
you guys had also asked for some additional intel on the swarm, at which point she pointed out that you guys have now encountered more swarm creatures than what the PWC and the Pact World and the Vesk Empires encountered before. So like they'd never heard of what the Harvester was or that the Void Engine technology existed.
Yeah,
So you guys are really on the leading edge of encounters with the swarm at this point. Kind of getting this where you're like, well, shit. You guys have made the decision to go ahead and put in a request for upgrades on the ship, so we've done some ship upgrade stuff. It ended up mostly coming down to just having a larger base model and adding in a drift engine, but that drift engine was going to come in very handy because the tier that you guys selected made it 1d4 for any planets in the solar system.
We got the warp dummy block.
So it's basically 1d4 hours to travel to any planet in the solar system.
Cool.
At this point, everybody kind of had broken off The other thing that you guys added to the ship was individualized rooms. You guys had asked Agnes what she recommended. So we kind of gone through what everybody had done. So John had made his where it looks like a small closet with a huge room hidden behind it, kind of Bender style.
Yes.
T had done his up like our trophy room, so he had all kinds of stuff hanging on the wall that was reminiscent of his time as a free captain and like his accomplishments. Delilah had one that was kind of like a hoard of stuff with a little like hidden room nook that was kind of like a safe room. And then Raya had done hers like an overflowing library, which was also unique because like her sleeping area was like the most generic ass bed. So like she really cared about the books and sacrificed that to have as much reading material as possible. Following this, Raya had decided to go catch up with her parents, and the rest of the crew had decided to go do a little bit of shopping and kind of do a night out on the town. John was the exception here, where he had a moment with Rejuvenor. So the shopping portion is what we did first. T had ended up picking up a new melee weapon, the chitin blade, which was basically the back shell of a like beetle-like creature, so it was like shredded essentially.
I think there's something similar to that in Skyrim, if I'm not mistaken. There's like a chitin shield you can get.
Yeah, it's like a armor sword. No. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Delilah had picked up the Aeon Stone Viridian Bulbous, which increased her movement speed.
Oh,
and what was unique about that is it increased all movement. So if she had like a climbing, a swimming, or a fly speed, it also increased those. We had cut away to John with his brother Rejuvenor at this point, where they had kind of like gone to a treetop overlook, where John had voiced that he was losing faith in the PWC, specifically the Inner Circle, since they have hidden such vital information from the rest of the populace. Rejuvenor, and John was kind of asking what connections Rejuvenor had, and Rejuvenor had revealed that neither of them really were groomed to take over after their father, since the Void Decay was such an abrupt sort of onset of the disease. All the connections that their father had kind of died with him, because neither of you guys were prepared to take over that role, because he thought he had decades left in his lifespan.
Right.
So
You gotta start when they're young.
John had then revealed, kind of out of left field, that he's potentially considering overthrowing the PWC since the leadership is inadequate, and wanted to use Rejuvenor's connections to make it happen. Rejuvenor had voiced that he agrees that at a minimum the Inner Circle needed to be abolished. He also voiced that they could start by blasting out that the Swarm are invading, but they probably should touch base with the rest of the crew. And then it kind of... he'd followed it up with telling John that he was glad that they were doing things together again, even stating that he's happy to learn who the new John is, even if the old Michael that he knew never comes back. John responded to this kind of like avoiding any of the familial connection, but mentioned that he would mull it over on whether or not he would tell the rest of the group, but was leaning towards putting a feeler out back on Absalom Station to see how much support they would have. This conversation then ended with like them looking at the Capitol building, which was like a crystalline structure, and as the sun set, kind of like the aurora effect it had on the sky there. Switching back over to T, as he was getting the chitin blade, one of the big things was he had regaled the shopkeeper of his tale of how he saved the planet from the swarm invasion that they weren't aware was happening. Even embellishing.
Yeah, dude, it was like,
So he managed to reduce the cost a little bit, and
they
even
drank the Kool-Aid so hard. I guess what they were told, so it's not their fault. It's not their fault. But damn, it's like tapping on the outside of their sidewalk, dude, out front, and they're just like, "Oh, that's nothing."
And then he kind of embellished a little bit with how strong his mental abilities were, basically saying that he incapacitated all of the swarm creatures with how strong his mental psychic kinetic abilities were. But it kind of paid off because he was able to get the chitin blade at a cheaper price. We cut over to Raya as she went to go visit with her family. What was kind of interesting with this whole thing was she made sure that everybody was okay, but then like kind of immediately went down into like historian like investigator mode and was like asking all kinds of questions trying to figure out. So it was like, hi, yeah, you're good, cool, and then like went down like trying to figure out as much as she possibly could about the swarm. So they had lived in an agricultural sort of village out here where they grew something similar to corn, and she had kind of picked up that um, there wasn't anything that she didn't already know that she was getting from her parents. She can kind of confirm that none of them had like been were no longer under swarm control, so like confirming that there was no swarm present left on the planet. But other than that, it was kind of she was kind of disappointed not getting more information. So she had went back up to the ship where she had practiced some unarmed combat, but she had made a deal with Agnes where Agnes would make the holodeck not show what she was actually doing, so she could practice this unarmed combat stuff without other people kind of like creeping on her, essentially. And it was kind of like a therapeutic, like letting out some aggression and kind of a meta way of explaining her improved unarmed strike that she had selected.
Which I also love. That's been like a small arc that has been a thing ever since the start, like with the whole like shuriken thing and whatever. Like I don't know, you're like working on yourself on the back end.
I'm trying so hard.
She had also done some research, I think, earlier in the session that she had been able to discover that the droughts that were on Castrovel, or at least the unusual droughts in certain regions, correlated to swarm activity. And she started to realize there was a lot of hotspots spread across all the other planets that met these sort of criteria, implying that the droughts were probably the key to being able to locate them on the planet's surface.
Okay, that's right. I remember.
Getting back to the crew, specifically T, Delilah, and the rest of the old Conquistador crew, they had started their bar crawl at this point. T and his crew hit the hardened... Put the...
Are they outside? Oh. I just heard her screaming and I was like,
they had hit the hardened carapace first, where Delilah and T had opened the night with the horror factor, which, while they could see invisible stuff, they also realized there was invisible ghost in the bar. Specifically, there was a...
Mean mugging you, right? Or something like that?
Well, there was an old man quartet that was like...
Oh, yeah.
Singing in the background that they could now hear because they had consumed the potion or the cocktail, and it was obvious that this bar used to have a different vibe. And
it's like those. It almost gave like those busts, the vibe of those busts from Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The party then headed over to the Exo Cocktail for another round of drinks. Specifically, this one had the Last Stand, which had a reddish hue from the redwood tree whiskey that was used in the making of it. There was a moment between Hargrove and T where he kind of thanked T for saving them, and T had formally invited them to join the Revengers. They also kind of discussed potential, like how lucrative this whole thing with the swarm could be for them, because any planets that are unaware of the swarm, they could kind of loot freely, and the ones that were aware of the swarm would regard them as heroes. So basically, like playing both sides, like the pirates that they are. T had then toasted to renaming the ship the El Redemption.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, from the Omeg.
Yeah, El Redemption.
After throwing back his drink, T had a brief vision of the last stand of the Conquistador, where his alter ego was kind of in control. He hears himself say, "We burn them all," as the vision ends.
Oh.
Uh, and he kind of plays it off of like nothing happened, and then orders another drink immediately after, despite how painful the drink was.
I'll have another one.
Following this, they continued on their bar crawl and they made their way down to what do we call that one? The Interstellar Pirate, where T had taken it upon himself to get a hold of a big white pirate hat. So like he walks in and there's a dude that's like passed out.
Wasn't it stained or something?
Yeah, he takes it off this dude's head without realizing that it had a vomit stain on the inside.
Oh.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah, I did.
They continued to kind of get
happen, dude.
very, very inebriated. At one point, as they're back outside, T decides to show off his Karen form, and he manages to do it on a well-lit bridge out in front of everybody. Which kind of causes a little bit of a public panic. So, like,
What was it when I said that? It was something like the fuzzateur or something.
Yes.
Like that.
So basically, a constable comes out eventually to like keep the peace. And this is about the point where like Delilah remarked that she realized she was amongst sailors, and this is
Like maybe not the right type of crowd per se.
because she had been kind of like a wallflower at this point, like just watching all the shit go down.
Like
So
the
they
Venus Five trap had already closed, and then you realize you're like, oh shit, I'm with a bunch of sailors.
So they ended up running from the authorities, as one does.
That's one does.
From the fuzz.
But they managed to make it back to the ship, basically calling an Uber to get them up there. Once they get back, they go to the common area, and Delilah kind of like starts cooking food. T, who's like obviously drunk and like his stomach's upset, like asks her what she's making. She's like, "Yeah," and it's like all the random food out of the fridge. So it's basically like a garbage plate. He was like, "Yes, I will take some." At this point, John had walked in his nighttime attire that no one had seen before.
Oh yeah,
So it's like the
I forgot.
the sleep nighty, like Ebenezer Scrooge.
Ebenezer Scrooge.
Cookie, dude.
Oh.
You just don't want everybody.
Yes. You got
Just all hide on back in the house.
guys. At which point he went and changed because he felt naked in his clothes. And this had also got woken up Raya, who came in, and they kind of talked very briefly about renaming the ship. At which point Raya just said that's dumb and walked out. Eventually everybody kind of goes to bed at this point. T tried to make it back to his room and ends up passing out in the doorway of his room. So the door is like dinging into him. But Agnes, being the kind robot that she is, comes by at one point and helps him get into his bed. And that is kind of where we're picking up.
They have to feed their cats in the special plates.
Of course.
So I will leave it over to you guys. If there's anything else this evening, feel free, or we can pick up in the morning.
I don't have to go first, but I would like to have a small conversation with Rejuvenor, and then I'd like to have a combo with the group as a whole.
Okay. Is there an order preference on that?
I would prefer Rejuvenor first.
Do you want to do this in the morning or the evening? So when we left off, you guys had kind of dispersed at like 3, 4 a.m.
I'll pick up in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah, so like after a system update I've been putting off for the last 5 days, I finally do it. It wasn't a big update, just it's more so just to fix a couple bugs.
Perfect. Yeah, we can.
You'll see once my eyes like reboot, like you'll see that I'm in like my closet-sized room, and I'll open my closet door to go into the bedroom, to just like put on my like throw my PJs into like a little bin, and then leave the room. You'll notice that on my next to my bin, there's a small like little notebook, and inside you'll see that I had written down a couple names, and sort of crossing stuff out here and there, and then at the bottom you see circled with a question mark, Omag Sion.
Oh my god!
And then they'll find Rejuvenor.
My was more for where Rejuvenor is going to be, but if you'd like to take it as me questioning that.
Oh yeah, that's what I thought. Omag Sion.
What if this is what it is? The rest of the campaign is just us, like, naming
Well, that was like...
the whole time we're calling it different things along the way.
That reminded me of a comment John had made to Rejuvenor during their moment last session where he was like, we might have to rename our group. And Rejuvenor responded, yeah, we could be like the Re-Revengers or something. And John had responded with, yes, I also like to throw prefixes onto words. We'll say this is probably about 7, 8 a.m. At the earliest.
Sure.
Rejuvenor has made his way over to engineering at this point, so he's kind of just hanging out there.
Is there a dramatic window that looks down at Castroville in the engineering bay?
No, but you could bring it up on one of the screens if you felt so inclined.
Yeah. I'll whisper Agnes on my way to her, to him, so it just kind of happens as I show up.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so she programs like one line at the computers to display like this view. Rejuvenor doesn't notice because he's on not one of those consoles working.
Good morning, brother. It is me, John, formerly known as Michael.
Well, I'm glad for the formal introductions. John, formerly known as Michael.
Okay, I thought maybe that would be a funny way to start a conversation. Don't call me that. Just call me John. This is really bad already. Anyways, I was wondering, when we were chasing you for some time before we realized that there was a greater threat in that of the swarm, the problem that the inner circle had with you taking life and digitizing it, more or less. How far into your research did you get before you stopped to deal with the threat of the swarm?
Well, John, I'm sure you're familiar with the other leaders of the Liberation Force that you met. Some of them are fully cybernetic beings that agreed to soul transference afterwards.
I forgot that they were people you had worked on. That changes a lot of the context of the conversation we're about to have.
I'm not saying that it's a 100% foolproof spell.
But you feel pretty good about it?
Depending on how proficient you are as a technomancer or a spellcaster in general determines on how long the spell takes. At my current level, it's usually 12 plus hours casting time.
If the mind is more simple, is it an easier process?
Are you implying like your Nyack? Because that was easier than, say, you, but you were also my first attempt, so
what if the mind of the creature that you were operating on shared its consciousness with others? Before he has time to answer that question and that sort of hypothetical, I'll interrupt and I'll say, I've just been thinking that ever since we spoke the other day that maybe some of the firepower we can use to take down the inner circle could come from the swarm enemy that we are fighting. Can we just turn swarm people into these things?
Well,
because maybe the process could sever the connection it has with the hive mind.
Aside from the casting time commitment, even high-level casters, that's a minimum of an 8-hour cast time. So you'd have to keep them restrained that entire duration. The bigger issue we're running into is the ones worth applying this to without consent are brain dead. There's nothing to transfer. The soul is already dead. That's why when the hive mind is disconnected, they no longer cease to function. The ones that regain their consciousness after the hive mind is disconnected, they're still people, and they wouldn't be able to consent willingly to having this applied to them. We'd be ripping them out of a swarm body and putting them into a cybernetic shell without their consent.
You just sort of see John start to look off into the distance and just sort of space out, looking at the image of Castro being projected onto like one of the monitors, and almost like sort of snap back to him. Yes, I guess you're right. I was just thinking it could help the cause of toppling a government.
I'm not saying that it's not a good thought, John. I haven't shared the knowledge I gained on Avalon with any other person. So unless someone else has transcribed how the spell's conducted, I'm the only person that could do it, and I'm not able to do this faster than about 12 hours per person.
God damn it. Alright. Well, that was it. Thank you.
You do know this spell.
It's something I can do.
Well, you're not a spellcaster, but you have the ingredients for how this spell is conducted.
I carry the map. Can I just like project it outside of me?
If you would like, yes. You scanned the process whenever you guys went to Avalon.
Can I download it as a fillable PDF? Okay, sorry.
So meta-wise, if you were to ever go any sort of spell casting, this is a spell that you know. Whether or not you're a high enough caster level to cast said spell is a different story,
Sure.
but...
Dang it. Okay, well...
You can also share it with other spellcasters.
Sure. None of the people that I travel with are near smart enough to cast it, I'm so sure.
This is me meta-wise feeling good. You don't have to share this with Rejuvenor if you don't want.
No, I was just making a joke at the table's expense.
Yeah. Carry on.
Okay, that's it. I'll just stick around for a few more minutes to fart around and talk about the weather or whatever. And then I'll sort of back out and I'll wait until later to approach the group.
All right. Any other morning things?
The only thing I picture right now, and it's because the alcohol is hitting me, but I feel like it would be a rocky situation where I'm starting to get serious about becoming lethal. And so I'm waking up and doing like barely 5 push-ups and like squats and like shuttles and pretending that I'm like hiding something in the corner.
Do some like shadow boxing.
Yeah. Like
which would you like to focus on heavier, strength or dex?
Ooh.
So dexterity is going to be quickness and like that type of stuff, and then strength's going to be strictly with like how hard you're hitting.
I'm gonna say dex because I'm trying to get better with my like weaponry and like Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Yeah, no. Dex applies to ranged attacks.
So yeah,
Your reflex save and like your movement speed type stuff.
I'm gonna say Dex.
Okay, go ahead and give me a Dex roll.
A 12, and then my Dex is 16.
What's the modifier on it? It's probably what plus
3.
2, plus 3. So at 21.
Nice.
Do I make it to like a full 5 then?
We're not gonna jump that would be a hell of a boost off of your first day. But there is potential here. The reason why I asked for the roll is if continued improvement in like this area could give you like a bonus feat to increase like that ability's modifier or whatever.
Up a little bit.
Basically, it's rewarding you for doing RP. Yeah, so obviously this isn't a common thing Raya's done in the past. Like in your room, there's books fucking everywhere. So like even just to do your push-ups, you had to move like 15 books just to get enough room to be able to do push-ups. It is tough. Like by the time you're done, like your muscles are burning, and there's a little bit of it like the back of your mind of like, man, this is a lot of fucking work. But you gut it out, finish out the workout. In a meta sense, I'm not going to put like a strict amount on it at the moment, but a handful of like these routines over like an extended period of time could potentially increase your dex modifier.
Okay. That's it. That's
I
all
like
I
that.
want.
I like that.
That's all I wanted.
Come out of your room wearing yoga pants.
Yeah.
We have posted to the infograms.
The infograms.
This is the infosphere.
Just doing like research on like old time like workouts.
Yeah.
You know, like Arnold Schwarzenegger back in the 90s.
21st century workout.
And I come out with just like a bandana on my head for no reason at all.
There's Rocky gonna fly now playing in the background.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I wanted. I just wanted my moment.
All right, Delilah or T, you got anything for this moment or this morning?
T is going to spend some time just kind of laying in bed and just reflect on the things that he saw the night before. And try
your
to
flashback.
Try to like pinpoint if that was truly him just being too drunk, or if that was it's been trying to claw my foot for whether trying to reflect on that to know if that was really true, or just to see if this was just my trauma of my past haunting.
Perfect. Go ahead and give me a mysticism roll real quick.
Oh, that's your bread and butter.
Yeah, I was gonna say T should have an easier time.
Yeah, I think I have like -1 or some bullshit.
Wait. I think there was the one session where I was trying to like, can you remember? And it was like 4 mysticism rolls.
Okay, so mysticism. That is a 36 with a nat 20.
Jesus Christ, dude!
Okay.
Two
So
nights in a row.
Yeah.
He's like, I remember everything.
like more like kick on flashback.
T, as you're laying there and you're sort of kind of like trying to filter through the evening and like your past, one, you're able to like with 100% fidelity, the flashback you had is true events. The benefit of your nat 20 is as you kind of like think about it more, the memory sort of expands a little bit more. And
the bubble of awareness or whatever.
Yeah, so you kind of like get a little bit of the moments leading up to when that vision started, where you can see all the ships moving on the Conquistador. You guys have been stationed out there as kind of like, you weren't even supposed to have combat at this point. You were kind of like...
Oh, so they were ambushed.
More or less. So you guys were kind of like, there was an op on the ground for the Free Captains operation.
Oh, okay.
Where you guys were kind of like trying to get some rare material and you guys were kind of just in orbit to make sure like no one came in and messed with it. And all of a sudden, there's like 15 different vessels that come in. You guys send off like a distress signal to the other free captains, but the pressure of the moment kind of got to T, and you could almost feel it as you're like trying to like remember this moment of like a switch flipped.
Oh.
And it was one of those where like you could feel you weren't in the driver's seat anymore, and you're kind of like looking third person view of what's happening, and that's whenever this personality took over and got really aggressive, and like the confidence of like there's no way I'll lose sort of kicked in. And not only did the phrase will make them burn happen, you watch as you set a collision course with the lead flag vessel and set the ship to self-destruct as you instruct the crew to go to the emergency pods, or the escape pods. About that point is whenever T's back in control and realizes like the self-destruct set, and you have to kind of just go along. So you play it off of like that was always the plan and that nothing happened. But you can tell Lavada and Hargrove both recognize something weird happened.
Oh, okay.
They don't know exactly what happened, but they could tell that was not the T that was there.
They're also want to rejoin, right? T will immediately just stand up out of bed and just pace back and forth. Not sure of his emotions, whether he's sad, angry, or confused. He puts a deep breath on, puts his hat on, and walks out of the room.
Damn. All right, Delilah. You don't have to do anything this morning if you don't want to, but
Yeah, basically. She's trying to figure out how to organize her room, but she doesn't love it. So she
just moved into it. I think this should all change.
she set it up, and within 24 hours is already like,
Yeah.
I love how we're all fighting our own demons, and I'm just decorated.
I know we had kind of described it as like a horde, but is there anything specifically amongst this horde aside from like shiny sort of things?
I would imagine that it's all special, right?
Yeah, well, she tries to pick a color scheme, so most of the things are like rose gold.
Okay.
Or like
Okay.
grass
All right.
or whatever.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's not just shiny, like it's pretty in there.
especially when the light hits it just right.
Yeah, everything blends.
It's like the Cave of Wonders a little bit. It all has a little bit of a shine.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool.
But, like, that's all I'm going to do is just look at it and be like, what needs to change here? It's not home yet. And that's the thing, like, she's also always lived on the street. So I think part of it's weird for her to just have a room. So that's part of it. So she's just like, that's weird. And then,
I own this.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Perfect. Okay. Well, I know John had voiced that he wanted to meet with the group at some point, so maybe around like breakfast time in the common area,
Sure.
everybody groups up at some point.
I'll have like a nice warm mug of oil.
Yeah, is there a
Is that
specific
a robot?
Yeah, is there a specific oil you're looking for? Like
Like an
we're like
80-20 blend?
Yeah, okay.
Or whatever it is that you get from the store. Synthetic.
Only
Full synthetic or like,
I think
are we
it's
talking here?
full synthetic is
Isn't-
like if you're operating off a turbo, you typically want full
Yeah.
synthetic.
Full synthetic is with the full hard.
Yeah, I'll go with the full synthetic.
Perfect.
A little bit more kick in the pants.
Yeah.
It's more sporty.
More sporty. I have a red suit of armor.
Because of the night out on the town, Agnes has been kind enough to make waffles, expecting everybody to sleep in at least a little bit. Not knowing what everybody's preference was, she made an assortment. So there's like blueberry, chocolate chip. There's some that have like a Nutella sort of thing on it.
Sure.
She didn't know what anybody wanted, so she just made a lot. So as you walk in, there's like the table's full of waffles. And for those of you not hungry, you're like, why the fuck is there so many waffles?
Wow, Agnes, this sure is a lot of waffles.
Delilah's gonna get a blueberry one and a chocolate one.
Yeah, sorry about how many I made. I wasn't sure what you guys needed or wanted. I'm still kind of getting used to having a body of my own.
Yes.
I'm getting used to having a home. I walk in with my super bright bandana across my head.
Like Karate Kid style.
Yeah, for sure. And then I slowly walk in and I sit down at the table and I look at the assortment. Hey Agnes, do you have anything more protein-ish?
Oh, I knew I forgot something. As she starts to like make up some bacon and sausage and like some eggs.
Who had this whole spill but didn't have the one
No,
thing.
you're right. You're right. And then as I think they're popping out, I'm just like picking little things and they start popping up out of nowhere. And then I'm like leaning over, just grabbing more things. And then there's an ungodly amount of just like a smorgasbord of just different proteins. And that's it.
My moisture sensors are picking up readings that maybe you were active to a certain level this morning.
Oh. I don't know how
I can tell by the sweat stains. Oh, wow. I thought those were real for a second.
Thank you so much. Wow.
I was like, yeah, I'll take some.
There is brownies at some point.
Oh, yes, of course.
Nobody else got time to eat it. I ate all of it. Can you go make me some more? Except for this one. I'll eat this one later. Okay, bye. I try to ignore all your comments because I'm still too self-conscious to say anything. So I just keep eating and avoiding eye glances.
Sure. At this point, T will walk in, like, feeling
Wow,
like,
the dust thing is real.
relatively, like, flat expression. He's going to use a token spell to create, like, a little scrub brush. And it's going to go scrape off all the stains on the hat.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, gosh, okay.
It takes a little bit of time, just because of how much was in there.
Great.
And not only was there quite a bit inside the hat, you can tell as you're cleaning it, some of the stains have been there for a long time.
This is mostly for the smell.
This is mostly...
The stains tell a story.
You do have the benefit of it was into the inside of that hat. So, like, as far as, like, the outside aesthetic goes...
What if every time he takes off his hat, it's
yeah, he's got a line.
There's a line around his head.
Not only that, but just a waft, like a breeze comes through his hat.
But the exterior aesthetic, no one can tell that it's stained. It's just... So you know that once you get rid of the smell, no one's going to know that this hat was taken off some poor drunk.
He's just trying to look it up and down. Good enough.
Just kind of blow it a little bit.
I'm
Do a
waiting
quick
for the
lick
space
test.
So, does Delilah get a whiff of his hat or something?
Did you walk into the common room, or were you cleaning this somewhere else?
I walked in wearing the hat to then scrub it off.
Okay.
It's a good thing I'm a robot.
John, you're excluded. Give me a... Ryan and Delilah, give me a perception check, specifically smell. So if you get a bonus from smell, please roll at advantage.
Where would I see if I get a bonus?
It would be racial traits. So on
Probably not.
I can't remember for Cobalt.
I think Cobalt.
So if you have it, it would be probably that first page of like the written out.
I have a 3. I'm gonna say I doubt it.
Well, it would be like a special racial trait or something else. So, like, if you go to the first part of your Word doc, if there's anything from being a Lashunta,
No, you
I don't think so.
Yeah, I was gonna say not
you
for
get bonuses from
smell.
telepathy based.
19.
19, perfect. Well, maybe.
4.
Okay, Raya, you are so engrossed with this meat pile of your
You probably
plate.
have your own set.
So at this point, like you're borderline into the meat sweats.
Yes.
But unfortunately for you, Delilah, it's like as the door opens, it immediately kicks, and you recognize the spell because you were with it for the second half of the night.
Yeah.
Like you thought maybe it was just casserole, but now you're realizing it was.
A minute question is: do we have a butler, or is that just Agnes?
Yeah, well, Agnes basically is.
She's like Cortana from Halo.
She's also my girlfriend.
So at this point, you guys have on your guys' ship, whether or not you've asked any of them to be sort of that sort of aspect on your ship. You have Agnes, Fuming Zeph, Hargrove, Devil's Charm,
We can't ask any of the free pirates.
Oscar, Grim Reaper Tides, Rejuvenor, and Tuske are all on board the ship right now. So I don't.
They have 2 jobs. They're not always flying the ship.
Yeah, so like whether or not you guys have like delegated them to kind of do like butler duties, that hasn't been established at this point. The only person that for sure has a butler, just not on the ship at this point, is John.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask Agnes. Agnes, you probably know
Reginald.
the strengths of the crew.
Did we go with Reginald for him? I'll have to look. But
So we need a butler or some sort of cleaner to clean this goddamn hat. And I like take it off of his head.
Hey, I was cleaning that.
I did mid brush.
well, and this is Agnes. We can have it cleaned. I don't know if we necessarily want someone delegated or designated as a hat cleaner as their duty, but we can ask the other free captains if they like. But you can set the hollow room into a laundromat and have it cleaned there with all of the amenities associated.
Wait, that's how the hollow room works?
You can set it to whatever.
But it's physical? I thought it was just all an illusion.
Well, whenever you set it to a room, you can physically interact with the things that
Not
you
Agnes.
I'm used to the old school futuristic.
Yeah.
There's also an assortment on each planet of methods for cleaning clothing. I mean, I feel like this might be a personal issue between you and T.
Well, this particular instance, yes, but it would be nice now that we have a little bit extra space on the ship if we had those sorts of things, somebody to do our laundry or the chores around the area without it being you, Agnes, because I don't feel like you would do those jobs.
Well, I can do some research either here for Castroville or our next destination for you guys to do interviews with potential candidates to join the crew for this duty.
I have experience interviewing people.
Do you? Okay, I think that's a good idea, Agnes. In the meantime, I guess we can turn that room into a laundromat. And can you help us clean this?
She's like barely
Yeah, so Agnes will take it.
My own laundry before.
Yeah, you're not doing a good job.
Hey, this was only mine as of yesterday.
As he points this out, you'll notice some splotches on other parts of his attire. Whether or not they're worn out from sun bleached or what, you're not sure. There's not a smell emanating, but you can clear that his clothing isn't necessarily the most upkept.
And without pointing it out to him too much, I'll look him up and down and be like, yeah, I think we all could use it. We could all use that.
I was going to say, all the things you have stashed in your room, you don't have a room stink?
I collect shiny, clean things.
I collect memorabilia.
That needs to be clean.
Yeah, because wasn't one of them an insect arm?
Yeah.
Yes, a fossilized insect arm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
man.
I can see.
Agnes will oblige and takes the hat. Not sure why you were doing it, but she
imitates the like holding it out like it's super disgusting as she walks over to the hollow room to throw it into laundry.
You've tarnished my reputation with this ship.
With the ship.
Please do it that all on your own, sir. Do you remember last night?
Well, no.
Yeah, great. So the ship is still called Open.
Would
Why
you?
was I never up for discussion?
Exactly.
Oh my god.
I just gently climb the table like, oh man.
In response, you'll see it like the crystals around like the edge of the room sort of like give like a warm glow as you said that.
Wow. Ah, cute. So I have something I wanted to talk to all of you about. It's kind of a pretty fucking big deal.
If this is going to be a bit about my state, then leave
If this is about the ship, no, we're not changing it. I put my plate aside.
Delilah, did you want to make a comment before I spoke? Okay, then I will speak freely. So, this is not necessarily a foreign idea we have flirted with in the past. The conversation definitely became more prominent once Goopy.
Oh my gosh. What's up, Jazz Tea? Wow. Thank you. Okay. I'm sorry, you have to do this now. Some Jazz Tea tastes perfect. Thank you.
Wow.
So spilled out the bottle.
Oh, we
Okay,
need a refund.
finally, we're done with this.
We all took our little jasmine tea shots.
I'm so sorry. As you were, sir.
You're trying to remember a name, but you didn't give me enough.
Wyatt's character's name.
Oh, Glarb.
Glarb. I almost said Goop. Glarb and shit.
Yeah.
Nia. Right. The conversation became a little bit more recurrent when those two joined the group because they specifically were sent. Are you laughing at the flattery? Just your glass like.
I'm so sorry.
You hear glass shatter, and then don't be mad.
But once they joined our group, it became more evident that my level of trust with the PWC was not high, and it wouldn't be for much many weeks later that we would find out that the real problem with the PWC is more likely the inner circle. And after saving Castrebel, and trust me, I'm not a politician, and I realize the value in not letting your populace panic. I'm just not impressed with the PWC, and I wish to overthrow it. And I will use the swarm threat as a way to make that happen.
My eyes just get huge, and I'm completely in disbelief.
I know this is a lot. It's a pretty big deal.
What exactly are you trying to say, John?
I don't know. I am not impressed with the inner circle. And at first I was not impressed with Premix, Laura, Dylan, Bruce. But she has proven to me over the course of this Castroville Planet Save the Day mission that she can be trusted.
That's like the spokesperson for them, right?
The one who we've been
So,
dealing with, basically.
quick meta recap because some folks joined in way later. Premix Kumar Cruz is the leader of Absalom Station.
Who's connected to the PWC.
There is a representative from every planet on the Pact World Council.
Yeah.
So she is part of the Pact World Council because she's the leader of...
representative.
Essentially, yeah. So she's equivalent of a representative, yeah.
It's like the presidents from countries in the UN.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. What planet is it? Is that where we're
Absalom Station is what replaced, effectively, Golarian, which is like the Earth of this solar system. It's a big...
main hub world, essentially.
Yeah, so the Earth is missing, and it's been replaced with this space station, essentially.
Okay. Of the PWC.
Yeah. Well...
The PWC operates off of Absalom Station, but it's its own sort of... It's treated...
Absalom Station is what replaced Earth.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's treated as its own planet. The PWC happens to be on there as well.
Yeah. So when you ask me what am I saying, I don't know. I definitely should not be the person who is part of the inner circle and is guiding all the people. But they had misplaced their worry in my brother when they should have been worried about the swarm this whole time. We spent months and months and months tracking down my brother just to find out he was part of the cause to stop the swarm. And I just... It's a little bit of an opportunist thought, because I don't know if it would be possible to take down the inner circle if it weren't with the help of a serious threat. And I'm not saying we work with the swarm, but we take advantage of their ability to distract the government.
I will add on to your point here because I think I have a similar line of thought to you, John.
I figured you and I would be close in opinion because you are a pirate after all.
I am a captain of the free captains.
Would we all have this feeling if Rejuvenor wasn't your brother?
If Rejuvenor wasn't his brother, he likely would not be alive today.
Well, the thing is, sure, there might be a emotional aspect to my brother being involved, but
I told my crew last night that as part of payment of sorts for them joining this crew for my failings to them on my previous adventures, we had it confirmed that the PWC does not have anyone else aside from our core group that have any more knowledge about the swarm. We are the most knowledgeable. We are the most experienced. The planets that we save from the swarm will view us as heroes. The ones that fall to the swarm, no one will know the better because they don't want to tell the populace. I told them, looting is fine. No one will know any better. And if they do know any better, we are heroes anyway.
Looting? So you want to follow your brother and you want to loot?
well, I'll be clear. I don't think Rejuvenor was necessarily looking to topple the government. I just would like to use him as a resource to do it.
Do we know? We don't even know who the swarm technically is, or who's heading for the swarm. How do we know Rejuvenor?
Yeah, what if the PWC is behind it, and they're using it as a distraction?
Well, I mean, that only bolsters our point even more.
Yes, exactly. All the more, like, if the government, the PWC is in fact colluding with the swarm, that's all the more reason to remove the head.
And the point I'm trying to make here, and the reason why I agree with John, the PWC allowed all of this devastation to happen and swept it underneath the rug for us to clean up.
I'm sure death still would have come when the swarm invaded.
But people would have been informed.
But maybe people could have been informed and done something to better their situation.
So, what's the benefit of going after the PWC?
A better life for those who live in this whole galaxy.
So I know they went after your brother, but aren't they also trying to go after the swarm? And they just went after him.
This isn't necessarily the fact that they are not going after the swarm. It's the fact that they waited till it was too late to start going after the swarm, and to send a fucking group of people who barely know what they're doing to deal with it. I mean, I am impressed with our ability to get things done, but for fuck's sake.
Well, I also think, I guess there's nuances to the situation, because we need more people on our side to help us take this down. So if they're willing to get their hands dirty and help us, then I don't think we should try to overthrow them. But if all they're going to do is sit from their high horses and be like, you fix this for us while we pretend to be the heroes. But I also feel like, what are we going to accomplish by overthrowing them? Because we should be focusing on getting rid of the swarm rather than just overthrowing them.
Well, let me flip this on the other side then. What do we accomplish by working with them? Say we do eliminate the swarm under the flag of the PWC. But nothing changes. No lessons learned. All they learned is that they could hire a mercenary force to take care of their problems.
No, but everything would change. We would get rid of the swarm. The planet would stop dying.
But what happens when a no force that's even deadlier than the swarm is scarier than the swarm?
Well,
it puts the entire galaxy at an even greater threat. What are they going to do then?
If we decide to make it a partnership where they're helping us take the swarm out, then they're no longer the leaders who are in charge and telling us what to do. Then we are part of the PWC, and we are part of the decision makers going forward, and that's part of the agreement we made with them.
I would argue that if there is any level of corruption that we are potentially implying here within the PWC, I'm sure there are people who will be putting us at arm's length for that very reason.
Do we open ourselves up to betrayal if we're even talking about this now?
Here's the other thing to everybody. We have maybe 60 days, maybe less, before the swarm is here. That is not enough time. That's not enough time.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We don't have enough time to overthrow them and defeat the swarm.
But they're going to be the weakest because of the swarms.
But, why go after the weak? Yeah, because the swarm's going to take them out anyway if we don't take out the swarm. It doesn't really matter. I throw my hands on the table and I rise up and I say, we shouldn't be going after the weak. What's worse than a planet destroying disease? This is our biggest threat right now, and it's what we should be going after.
I see your point, and I agree with you. I say that we work for the PWC, for the betterment of the galaxy. When once the threat is eliminated, then we take steps against them. Free captains. Once we prove ourselves
The free captains would be a really good place to start.
We're already working our way back into their ranks, and once we prove that we are competent enough to eliminate a galaxy-wide threat on our own.
I'm kind of going down this really large, cynical rabbit hole, so forgive me, everybody. But at the same time, I feel like once the greater threat of the swarm is eliminated,
then the focus on how much they do not like the free captains will return. It's like, okay, great, thanks for helping. Now, if you wouldn't mind fitting under the heel of my boot. I've seen this happen once before.
Well, I think that's part of the agreement we make, is like, if they decide to go after the free captains after we help them, then we have every right to kill them. It's part of the agreement we make, is we're like we're a team now, and free captains is part of that, because you're part of free captains, half your crew, or most of your crew is part of us. So if we all team up, it doesn't make sense for them to then go after free captains. And if they do, that can be part of the treaty agreement we make, that like, if we help you, free captains are no longer your enemy. I take my bandana off and I step away from the table and I start pacing back and forth. Okay, so we went from being the Revengers, working with the PWC, and taking down this disease that's destroying all of these planets, the culture, the history. People are being, or insights and identities are being eliminated, to looting and wanting to be besties with your brother, to now we're killing the PWC?
Let me argue that that is still a part of the Revengers. Let's think of it like this. People are dying and being controlled and lives are being ruined by the swarm. We are going to places that people have already been dead. Okay? They've been killed, they've been murdered, they've been transformed. Where does all that loot go? It's garbage everywhere. That is reason enough. We are helping with housekeeping. Now, next to the next one. Once the threat of the swarm has been eliminated, the revenge is for the people of this galaxy because of the PWC who've been led astray by the PWC for not doing anything.
So you want to wait till they're dead? Why can't we stop them before they die?
Because of our timeline. We have 60 days. We're not doing, as both of you have pointed out, we're not going to take over the PWC in 60 days and do the swarm.
Who says that PWC is the swarm? How do we
Well,
know Rejuvenor isn't the swarm?
I'm saying that it is an evil that is almost equal in my eyes.
What is more evil, turning an entire soul into a robot?
I would argue that that was used to save lives. And it was against the forces of the swarm to begin with, but the PWC did not see it that way initially. Not until we intervened.
There's nothing saying that Michael wanted to turn into John.
John is like a little bit silent there. There's no response from John.
How do we know that Rejuvenor isn't part of the swarm?
Ask him. John speaks up. Rejuvenor is definitely against the swarm.
For those that feel inclined, give me a life science roll.
Sure. I think I'm good at life science. I'm a life scientist pirate.
I'll give it a roll.
I have a 16 and my thing is 12.
Wow. 23.
So that's 15 plus 8 is. Are you rolling?
Yeah.
What was yours, John?
John and I both got 23.
18.
All of you, based off of what you've interacted with the swarm to this point, are familiar with enough that if there's no active hive mind within reach, there is no control. Raya, you specifically, with the interaction you had on Mantid Reserve and everything, are able to determine that everybody goes back to their normal personality once the connection is severed. Now, you guys aren't familiar enough to know if there is a higher level reach on the hive mind. So, if there's a creature with a higher proximity than what you've encountered, perhaps other people could still be under control in Castrovel, but the likelihood is very, very slim that anybody on Castrovel is still under control after you took out the Harvester.
Okay.
Now, what you do with that information is of your own volition, but as far as the science is concerned, the probability of anybody near Castrovel being under control is so low that it's basically zero.
Okay. I refuse to believe that.
Like I said, you guys can take the information how you want, but that is what you guys are aware of.
I understand that we are talking about some very moral gray area.
Well, I would disagree. It's pretty radical what we're talking about.
What I'm saying is that regardless of the decision we make, lives will be at risk. That regardless of what we end up doing, whether we succeed or whether we fail, the lives of many are at a great risk. Our whole, or at least my whole thought here, is that once the hive is eliminated, that we strive to make for a better humanity. And I believe strongly that the PWC in its present state does not provide that.
I sit back down. I can get behind that.
I also want to say I debated not even bringing this up. I first talked about it with my brother. He seemed to be in support and see some of the points I was making. But at the end of the day, I realized I was really taking something and making something really large out of it. And alone, I could not hold this off. With the help of my brother, maybe we could. Probably not. I don't think I would be able to pull it off if I didn't have all of your support. So, ultimately, I think I will always feel very strongly opposed to the PWC, specifically the inner circle. However, I don't want to go rogue if no one is on board. And I guess we don't have to make any final decisions right now, but just know this is something I've been thinking about for a while, and it wasn't until recently that I got the spunk to bring it up in conversation.
I will let you know if my stance changes, but as I stand right now, let's see if we survive the swarm first.
I think that's a responsible decision. We can wait till the swarm threat has been nullified. I'm really sorry. I feel like maybe, I don't know. I'm not much of a people person, but I can tell that maybe you are upset. I'm not usually the type of guy to start a revolution.
That's more of a brother. I'm sorry, that was too soon.
I'm glad I got it off my robotic chest. Anyways. As you were. I'll stand up. Finish my sort of like 80-20 synthetic blend. Full synthetic blend. I don't know. See myself out, I guess.
As we're kind of like steering away from this conversation, I have a meta question specifically about ability modifiers and like stats.
Mm-hmm.
I know that there are some items that you can purchase to increase stats, like ability modules, or I mean, there's a huge ass list of different things you can modulate your body to give you. But similar to what Colton and I kind of do in D&D, is there any like ways to passively increase your?
Yeah, that's what we were doing with Riot earlier. Is if you RP improvements in those areas, it's on the table. The other thing for Starfinder that I think is unique compared with D&D is every 5 levels you can select to manually increase, I think, 4 of the 6 stats.
Yeah. Okay. I guess to with the emotional burden that last night had and this morning, and then this conversation, I think T is probably just going to go to the hollow room once it's done being used for laundry purposes and go through some.
Flight simulators?
No, he's going to go put on some simulations of like one-on-one duels, like old-timey like fencing simulator.
Going strength route. We'll actually say your guys' conversation was long enough that the hat is able to get claimed. Like you guys were in this deep conversation for like an hour or two, kind of going back and forth on everybody's different points of view. So the hat has been claimed. You can go straight to the holodeck. We can RP that here in just a minute. As a group, you guys had voiced potentially going to Absalom Station. The other sort of thing was at some point maybe meeting with the free captains to enlist their help for setting up defensive for the solar system. Those are the other things on the table. So as we kind of gear our minds, is there more things you guys are wanting to do on Castrovel specifically, or are you looking to set a route?
So from what I understand from what we talked about last time, we more or less did what we wanted to do on Castrovel.
And we're looking to go to Absalom Station.
We were going to go to Absalom Station, but we really didn't have a whole lot of time for other pit stops.
Well, that was before you picked up the drift engine. So you guys now are at 1D 4 hours travel time between planets. Yeah. And that's any planet in the solar system because of how the drift signals are set up. Having a drift engine means any planet in the solar system, regardless of its position, is within 1D 4 hours.
Okay. I think Absalom Station.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Personally. Go back to the hub world.
Okay. Are you guys having Glarb or Sparks fulfill the piloting check for this, or are one of you wanting to do it? Because we don't have our full crew per se for Starship Combat, you guys can rely on one of your NPCs to fill in for the piloting role.
Let's see.
I'm nervous with that question.
Glarb.
Basically, it's just I'm going to roll based off of Glarb's stat block instead.
It's either
Do we want to roll, or do we want the DM to roll?
Yeah.
I think Glarb and Sparks were the most skilled pilots.
Yeah, I can pilot, but it's not my best.
Yeah,
Glarb has like
a chat with the crew.
Glarb has like a plus 12 or something like that in piloting. So
okay.
What's Sparks at?
Sparks, I think, is a little bit lower. She's diversified a little bit more than Glarb has. Plus, Glarb is an operative, so like he gets a plus like 1 or 2 every stat automatic.
Yeah. To keep Julia and Wyatt alive, we should try to play their characters as much as possible while they're gone, I think.
Yeah. So we'll see you guys kind of give Glarb the intention of it. And this is kind of like the first time firing up the drift engine. Yeah, he's a plus 14.
Good, maybe.
Maybe not angled like that.
Yeah, don't let the cake fall.
And the dice fell.
Dirty 20. As he plots this, what that's going to do is that's going to give him advantage on this, so it'll be the lower of it. So you guys are going to have 1 hour travel time.
Woo! Don't worry about it.
So what you guys will see as he plots the course, and this is a little bit different than before. So normally, like you pull up the nav mat and like you can see like the solar system, and you're like, basically it's like looking at like stellar body movement, so like asteroids and other like stellar debris, and plotting the smoothest course through it. Mm-hmm. What happens here is it opens up like a portal in space, and then as he looks through it, because effectively what's happening is it's a tear on either side, so right outside of Castrovel, and then you can see Absalom Station in the distance, essentially, between it, and then it's looking through, like, because it basically, like,
it's
ripples.
Like a wormhole, almost.
Yeah, essentially. So it's like a ripple in, and what's weird is you can see there's debris and stuff in this corridor that you can tell has been pulled out of somewhere else and put into this, like, pocket dimension, essentially.
Do we travel through the void?
So
You guys are traveling through the drift.
Oh, through the drift. That's
Void is similar, though, so
Oh, okay.
that's a thought to
that
keep
probably plays
meta-wise.
into my meta question of is Castro part of the A word? What's it called? Where we're going?
Okay, so let me pull
Absalom?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's part of it's in the same galaxy. Like, so it's
Like how Mars is.
You guys,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
you come in a little bit later, so let me pull up an image if I can find one real quick.
Yeah, it's like Mars to Earth.
We haven't traveled much since I've been part of the crew, so.
Yeah, because you came in when we were already on Castro.
Yeah.
So, this is the solar system you guys are in. Currently, you guys... Oh, I cut off the image.
I love that there's this, because I am so much more of a visual Me learner. too. Like,
Sorry, it's cut off a little bit. You guys are currently on this planet right here. It's Castrovel, second planet from the sun. And you're going to Absalom, which is in the third position. But this is the whole solar system, so you have Abalon. Technically, there's stuff inside the sun as well. So, like,
Wait, is it Avalon is robot planet, right?
Mm-hmm. So the sun, there is stuff here. So like, there's like
do you have to be like a fire spirit to go there?
there's like shielding essentially for like tunnels into like the stations,
like Dyson sphere type shit.
I don't know what that is, but maybe. So basically, like, there's a tunnel into like the center of the sun with like cities and stuff.
Cool.
Across, yeah.
Cool.
Abalon is the robot planet you guys have been to. You guys are currently on Castrovel. Absalom Station's the main hub of the solar system, equivalent to Earth. This replaced what's called Galarian.
so Castro will be Mars?
Castrovel would be equivalent to Venus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Acton would be what would be considered Mars. You guys haven't traveled there. This one is Verces. That's John's home planet.
I was gonna ask.
The Adari is in orbit or like in synchronized revolution with. So it's actually lined up with Verces.
Oh, okay.
So it's actually closer to Verces than this image depicts. The Dysphoria is effectively the asteroid belt. There's some lore there if you guys ever are inclined. Eox, that's the undead world.
Okay.
You've got Triaxis here, kind of a Saturn sort of style equivalent of Livaria.
Okay.
There's Breathhetta, and then I think there's a couple more further out. Is there a better image?
There's something you can download, so you probably have it downloaded somewhere.
Let's try this one.
So you said it took us a day because of the roll. But how long would it have normally taken us to
On
get?
our old ship,
Yeah.
it would have been.
Well, it's 1d6 days.
So up to 6 days.
Up to 6 days, and we got there in an hour. Because of our warp drive.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Or drift drive.
there's a Paste, Octurne.
Are you getting tired? Good night.
Nice.
Octurne is
Okay.
that is the planet that the Conquistador's last stand was in orbit of, is Octurne.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you're like on the.
Yeah, so effectively the Pluto of the solar system.
Yeah.
So this one has like nightmare type creatures on it. So
Ooh.
it's like the dark elves reside out this way.
Like the under the what's it called in the Stranger Things?
It would have a lot of like
The Upside
Underdark style.
Yeah. I was like the
It would have a lot of Underdark style creatures, apparition type stuff.
Cool.
But that's the solar system for a frame of reference. If you have questions, you can always research these and we'll pull them up. But yes, so basically you guys are seeing a portal sort of open, and there you can tell that the space has been diminished because you can see on the far side of like the console that.
And that's because of the warp drive?
Mhm.
Okay, got
So
it.
like Glarb's console, normally he would have to plot celestial bodies all the way out to it. Instead, you can see that the distance got considerably shortened, and he's just having to avoid stuff inside this like pocket dimension that opens up. If you'd like to roll me a physical science or historian check for you, I can give you some lore on the drift specifically.
That's not really my best.
27.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, you guys have the smart girls.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
I'll pass on that.
Perfect. Okay.
I'll pass on
So for Raya and Delilah, you you guys are familiar. The Drift is the dimension that Triune rules over. So Triune is the god, the three-faced technological god that gave Drift travel to society.
Oh.
So he owns the dimension that Drift travel travels through.
Oh, okay.
Is this like
potentially-
Kong?
Did he invent that dimension?
Well, I guess more or less he's the god of it.
Based off of how high you guys rolled, from what you're aware of, the drift continues to increase in size. So every time someone uses drift, more stuff is pulled in to the drift.
Would I potentially know more about this god because of my connection to Besmaya? Or Besmara?
You can give me a mysticism check to give like a look from the like pantheon perspective.
That is a 24.
Based off of your studies of Bismara, it kind of gives you an overview of the other pantheons. So while you're not instantly involved with what exactly Triune's done, you are familiar enough to know that Triune used to be three separate technological gods that merged into one. That's why it's a three-faced god.
I guess more specifically, what T would probably latch on more to in the history sense of it. What is their relationship with Besmaya?
There's not a whole lot of interaction at the moment. Triune rules over a dimension that isn't necessarily impacted by Besmara. And while he controls like time and those types of things, typically their interaction isn't anything negative. There is the off chance of like Besmara's sort of guidance to like loot and pillage can be at odds with him, but there's not any outright conflict.
Interesting.
Did you see the cookie dough bites in there?
Well, we're heading over
You
to
can have
Absalom
them in the
Station.
cup in
We
there.
potentially do drinks.
One mistake.
and-
Yeah, I was gonna say, if we would like to take a break
Cupcakes
real
or
quick.
cookies
Oh,
with just sprinkles
apparently I
in it.
killed the music. If we'd like to take a break real quick, we
Yeah,
can
sure.
do one here. Okay. So you guys have now made the trip through the drift, which was about an hour flight time.
Yes.
Based off of whenever you guys left Castroville, we'd say it's like late morning, so like 10, 11 a.m. time frame.
Real quick, just for like the flavor sauce, while we're traveling through the drift, the hour or whatever, is the drift like basically a same representation of the world around us, but it's like a filter like on the like for example like how like the Shadowfell in D&D is like supposed to be like the material plane, but dark spooky version basically. Or is it its own little thing?
It's its own sort of thing. It looks a lot like the plane you guys are from, which I think is still Prime material,
Sure.
whatever the Pathfinder equivalent is. The main difference being is instead of like it having like planets and whatnot as you're traveling, you can see like chunks of material have been pulled off. There's disabled vehicles and stuff like that. Like
Oh, okay.
conceptually, as you're piecing it together and based off a couple other people's roles, it almost feels like the drift is slowly taking portions of the other plane and putting it in here, one chunk at a time.
Dude, let's play a campaign where the bad guy is from the drift dimension.
That's what I'm saying. Was it?
That'd be cool.
Kong
That-
Kang from
Oh yeah,
Marvel?
yeah.
Or from Loki?
Yeah,
where
yeah.
He's like the time warper person.
Yeah, sure.
Similar. Though the equivalent to another dimension trying to take over would be a Nihilus from the Marvel universe.
Oh,
Because he's from the negative zone,
I see. Okay.
which is like nothingness.
Yeah.
And he's trying to come into the main Marvel universe to take over because of that.
Interesting. Okay.
Anyways,
Sorry, not to sidetrack.
yeah, there's a lot of potential.
Well, yeah.
We're over here
You
trying to throw down
have
the
potential.
PWC, and it's actually whatchamacallit. So I'm just gonna be sitting in the I'm in the pilot seat, and I'm just like watching things, knowing kind of like what's happening. So it's not really that amusing to me, and I'm just like lost in the sauce, thinking about the earlier conversation from today.
Glarb, it was a pretty easy challenge. Really, the hardest part of this plotting was literally firing up the drift engine for the first time, because this is new stuff that you guys have put in the ship. So it's like playing with what the buttons on the console were and everything. So like once everything got going, it was pretty straightforward, and he glides it into one of the hangar bays here on Absalom Station. So you guys are in like the I think I got a note on what the different tiers are up here.
Yeah, there's like levels, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because me and T like worked like a couple levels down, right, or something like that.
That, and you also got details on it when you were with Raya.
Yeah.
So the top, because it works on like levels. So the top level on the station is the political. Then you got high society, the shopping and residential district, the stewards, which is like the intergalactic police. Then you have the school of technomancery that's on here, and then you have the black market, and then it gets into like mechanical sections after that.
Then that one question we went clear the
you went pretty far down into the spire, which is like all the mechanical stuff.
So basically, think about Absalom Station.
Isn't that where we had like dinner or lunch one time?
You guys had that on the like shopping and residential district.
The brewery place.
Yeah.
The old Galarian.
Yeah. But like basically, Absalom Station is like a planet that's basically like a huge apartment complex building that's just levels and levels.
Aesthetically, it looks like a large needle, and then there's
I was thinking of
a
the
ring.
Space Needle in Vegas or whatever.
Yeah, sort of. So it's got like a ring around the needle, which is like the docking station for all the interstellar ships. That then goes into like the middle spire, and then there's levels on that, and then once you get to a certain point, it's like all mechanical. What's interesting about Absalom Station is because of the gap, there's a lot of technology here that people don't necessarily understand 100%, because it was created and up and running during the period of them not remembering exactly what happens.
Oh.
Because remember, this appeared in place of Galarian during that period of time.
Right.
What
The gap, which is like about a 200 years expanse of time that no one can remember what happened. Like, you might know that, like, if you lived long enough, like an elf or something like that, that, like, oh, like, I've been married to such and such during that time, and, like, we've had a kid and everything, but, like, the exact details of what happened during that time, like, any wars, that type of stuff, no one remembers.
Why? Do we know why?
No one knows. That's part of the mystery of this world.
There's so many storylines happening right now.
That one's just lore based off of like Starfinder in general.
Yeah.
So I've taken aspects that were already built, like pre-baked into Starfinder, and then I've expanded on certain ones. So like the Swarm is one of those.
Yeah. So when we dock, we're on that top space station floor.
No, when you dock, it's like the residential shopping district.
Oh, okay.
Because the top floor is like where all the
yeah, so like moving up from the shopping district is when you get into high society, and then like the actual like political districts.
Okay. I don't know.
So what I had in my notes was John was potentially coming here to get a feeler on how well his revolution would go. Whether that is still on the table, we can circle to that here in a minute. Rye, you had mentioned potentially going to the Technomancery School to meet with Harold, the librarian.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Before that takes place, as we're starting to get ready to land or dock and all that, I'm going to find John, and hopefully get him like away from everyone, and then so I go up to John and say, "Oh, hey, John."
If you want some privacy, please step into my room. And I'll open my door, and you see it's like, there's like maybe 15 square feet. Maybe no, even smaller than that. It's just big enough for the both of us.
So I shimmy my way into his room, and I kind of just.
I'll step on your toe while I dock myself.
Of course.
And that you don't want to know where I do that, but yeah, I'm docked.
Okay.
Is there a way for her to accidentally hit the secret open door to go into the rail area so she's not
Yeah, and then I realize there's actually a whole actual room, like he only uses that tiny room.
Oh, I mean, if you wanted more space, you could go in the closet.
If you'd like to see if whether or not you accidentally hit it, give me a. Man, this is one of those times I wish I had the Call of Cthulhu where I could ask you for like a straight luck roll. We're gonna go with that. Give me a percentile dice. Tell me what your charisma modifier is for this.
Sir. Charisma, I have a 14.
Okay, so roll a D100 for me real quick.
D100?
Yeah, so it's going to be off of like out of 100
so
on.
Roll that once, and that will be the first digit, the 10th digit, and then roll it again to get the ones digit. So that's a 5.
So it's maybe 50.
50, and then roll it again.
Roll it again.
And then this will be the second digit.
So it's just 50.
Just 50.
Nice.
I don't know what that means. Is that a good thing?
We don't know.
No,
You roll 50 out of 100.
Oh.
It was just interesting that it was 50 out the dot. But, we'll say it's not an immediate thing. We'll say, depending on how long the conversation is, it's about 3/4 of the way through the conversation before you find this button. And like you accidentally bump into it, so you can play this into as you guys discuss on like.
I can argue it. Okay. So I halfway shimmy my way into the door. Oh God, my foot. Okay.
Right. Just give me 1 second. I'll like twist and make it a lot worse. What did you want?
So I'm visibly nervous just from after tension just from after. Well, you wouldn't know. But
yeah, I did.
I'm visibly nervous because again from our earlier conversation and all this stuff. So and then I kind of just start hitting the walls. So I just wanted to kind of just touch upon this morning's conversation. I was just wondering.
Are you talking about the thing with T's hat?
No, I think Agnes solved that.
Oh, you mean the other thing?
Yeah, the whole taking down
the PWC.
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Yes. I hope you understand. I wasn't trying to upset you or take anything bad towards Virginia. And I'm slowly just looking at the wall.
Yeah, well, apology accepted. I honestly don't have much of a relationship with Rejuvenor. A lot of the relationship is built upon a past I don't remember. So it's a little complicated.
Well, I just remember last time we were actually here on this exact planet, we talked about what your life was like and about how you were kind of curious, and I don't want to stop you from it. But as a apology,
Can this be when the door opens?
Yes.
Well, this is when I'm getting even more nervous. So I'm kind of now just kind of like looking around and
both hands now.
Yeah.
I'm doing this.
Yeah. As I'm just like I was thinking.
I'm in the box of emotions.
Yes.
Get me out.
Wrong burgundy.
No, like, would you like to have dinner again. Remember that one spot that we went to that was reminiscent of your time?
The old Galarian, of course. How could I forget such a wonderful place?
And door open.
You can't fall into the room.
Are you okay?
Oh, if I see you are not having a lot of room, if you'd like to go into the closet, you could have a little bit more breathing space.
Your closet?
Yes, and you like look over, and it's like a full-size bedroom. It's like empty though. There's like no bed.
There's a bin
There's a bin
with his pajamas in it.
where my pajamas go. Yeah. The only article of clothing I guess I've ever worn.
Not like a dresser, literally just a fucking bin.
I just peek behind and I slowly scan the room until my eyes land on your bed.
That's where I keep my pajamas.
Of course. Okay, so I'll meet you there in a couple hours.
Yes, maybe I shall get everyone else to come with.
Oh, I think this is just, I want to apologize to you and just...
Oh, you want it to be just me and you?
Yeah, if that's okay.
I think that is fine.
Okay,
I have a girlfriend.
I will make sure to inform Agnes that this is just a work thing.
Of course, yes, of course. Okay.
Just a work thing.
Yes. Yes. Okay, so I'll see you there. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Bye.
Okay, and I slowly just.
I think I have to system update or something.
I shimmy out,
Yeah.
and I just
I'm even more in the way than I was before.
Yeah, because he had turned. He had turned with how the door was open.
Oh my god, this is amazing.
The most awkward conversation ever. I can feel it in the rest of the ship. Like, what did you... Hey, did you feel that tension?
The disturbance in the force.
Yes.
Yes. Wait, so for further, because of what I'm thinking right now, were you guys aware that I'm pushing him aside?
No, that was all private as far as we.
Okay.
Anybody walking by would awkwardly see you guys kind of fall out of the door together because of how John had tangled himself up.
Got in the way, but
that's it. That's all I wanted to do.
Perfect. Anybody else wanting to do stuff on the ship before we're heading out to Absalom Station? Perfect. Okay, for Absalom Station, what are we looking to do? We've got a dinner date. Just a work thing,
We're not
though.
calling it a date, though.
Yes, it's very important that this is specifically a platonic outing.
Listen, I am not competing with Agnes. If anything, I'm going for Agnes.
Those ones and zeros. I mean, have you seen how round those zeros are?
Oh my god.
I did have something I wanted to do on Absalom Station, but I almost wanted it to be low key. I want to spend a healthy amount of money to see if I can hire somebody to get sensitive information on the inner circle.
Perfect.
I'm talking about email addresses, passwords, anything.
We're hacking.
No, we
IP
want gossip.
addresses.
Okay.
Give us the tea.
So we'll go around the table to figure out what everybody wants to do.
Yeah,
So if there's some interlinking, we'll do that. For that specifically, you're going to need to go to the Black Market District.
Cool.
Which
Are you gonna
wouldn't be
go
your
in the party
which wouldn't be your first time.
Oh, no, I've worked out of there before.
Are you coordinating with anybody else, or is this a lone venture?
Yeah, I just want to know if we can tell you what we want you to tell them or find out from them.
Well, because
of the vibe, I think John's feeling he needs to do this lone wolf.
Yeah, because we all decided as a group we're going to wait till the storm's taken care of. So this is small.
So John is taking initiative and not.
Great. Good to know. What do you know?
Okay. Delilah, is there anything specifically you're looking for on Absalom Station? I know we did shopping on the last one, so I don't know if you have any specific things at the moment.
So Delilah is kind of just happy to like have a group, and so she's gonna like I guess. And she didn't do this intentionally last time, but she kind of went with the biggest group.
Okay.
So wherever the majority of the party's going to go is where she's going to go until she figures out what she wants.
Okay, before the luncheon, I think it'll be lunch because it'll be about 1 o'clock.
Sure.
Is there anything Raya's doing? You're going to the technomancy school?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. T, what do you got?
I think, is there any temples here?
The things on Absalom Station at the moment are the resident or political high society shopping district stewards, which is like the intergalactic police, essentially. Then you've got the technomancy school, which is where Raya's going. The black market, and then it's like the mechanical stuff where you went and fought Steel Talon. So the closest thing to the temple would be the School of Technomancy. But that's specifically focused on technomancer stuff.
I think,
You could get
They go together.
you could get information on like how law enforcement across the solar system works. If you go to the stewards.
I'd want to ask are probably incriminating. So,
So
they don't go with you to the
Perfect.
technomancy school.
And by extension, it sounds like Delilah's
Delilah
probably
will go.
tagged
Yeah.
with that. Okay, go ahead and start with that. So, Raya, you've been here before. You came here with John. You went to school here. So this is not
This was like from a long time ago. when we
session
last were here.
2.
Session 2.
Oh
Wow.
my god!
It was a while
See,
ago.
this is why I'm calling everybody. I don't know.
I had to dig through fucking notes to get this dude's name. Okay. So outside the school, you guys have you can see like the application of like technomancy magic. So it's like technology being applied, or magic being applied to technology. So you can see like some metal structures that are like rotating. So like the garden in front of like the school itself have like these rotating objects that you can tell are being upheld by magic. Like the doors open automatically,
Cool.
which part of you is like, well, technology could do that, but you get the feeling as you're like walking into the doors that like this is actually magic being applied and not necessarily just inherent technology. Specifically, you're heading over to the library where Harold Willingsworth, the librarian of the School of Technomancy, specifically the Absalom Station School of Technomancy, ASST. He is a Cathasa, so he has 4 arms. Slightly different than the picture here because instead of like the like mouth gear stuff, it's just a big ass fucking white beard.
Oh, cool. Okay.
But more or less, that's kind of a general depiction of Harold. As you walk in, similar to last time you were here, you'll see Harold. Oh, Raya! It's been a long time since I've seen you. Well, I mean, I guess it's about 2 months, which is more recent than the last time, but how are you?
I'm doing good, Harold. How are you doing?
Well, you know, the new semester is starting up, so, like, all the newbies sitting here confused as hell on what they're doing. But it keeps me employed, so...
Oh, I miss being a new student. Just the thrill of everything being so new and the smell of books and being around so many smart people. And then I look over at T just off somewhere.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking at all the books with scrutiny. Like,
And they're squinting.
like I'll pick up some tomes,
like
like
disgust.
judging the books by their cover.
Well, and further added to this is, like, some of them, there's certain rows that are, like, the tablets that when you pull it out, it pulls up, like, the text. So it's not even, like, there's a book cover to look at. It's literally just, like the Star Wars where it's, like, Like there's a metallic piece, and then it's a hologram that like pulls
Oh,
up.
okay, like a digital scroll. If you
Yeah,
will.
essentially, yeah.
Okay.
You look over and see the most uninterested T has ever seen in his entire life.
Does this guy recognize Delilah? Since she's also a technomancer, or would I have gone to school somewhere else? Or
Ooh,
am I
you did-
self-taught?
I'm gonna leave that to you because we did not build any of this into your backstory.
okay.
So
So, I mean, make
What
a
if you're
decision
the
now.
one that was like stealing little things
I mean,
from
I
the
feel like
library?
it makes sense.
Why is
Yeah.
this book missing? That's a core material.
Yeah, honestly, that's what makes sense for her backstory is to be
Okay.
self-taught and stealing little things from.
yeah,
So I guess maybe has seen
because
her.
we say you were from Absalom Station. Is that what we
I
ended
don't
up?
think we said where I was from. I
Okay.
just know I was.
Well, we have now made the decision you're from Absalom Station.
You're being canonized in front of our very eyes.
You actually grew up in the Black Market District.
That makes sense.
But part of the reason why you went into technomancery is it was a lucrative business to steal scrolls from the school and bring them down and sell them on the black market. So
Cool.
part of it is like in between the time of stealing the scroll and bringing it to like the bidder that you worked for, you would read the material basically like on the elevator ride down. So like all of your technomancery stuff is kind of like pieced together over time from like reading through this.
Cool.
Cool.
But yeah.
So maybe he recognized me in passing. Like, he gives me a suspicious look.
Yeah, it kind of gives you an odd look because like he feels like he's seen you before, but like never interacted because you like never come up and ask questions on like how something works.
Or
But he's
check
seen
out
you
books.
come in and out of the library.
Yeah.
So he's like giving me a side eye. He's like,
It's like, oh, do you know this? Like, I feel like I've seen her over the last 15 years.
T will come up with a book. I don't understand.
Distraction.
Well, that's volume 1 on the implications of applying technological magic to a generic metal object.
You're clearly very smart. I have some questions. Okay. I'm not a technomancer. But,
Are you an aspiring one? Is that why you're here?
well, I'm a mystic.
I mean, it's tangentially related, but
I'd like to hear your theories on that topic specifically here in just a moment. But first, as I kind of like give a nervous look over, I've been having some trauma that's been affecting my current day-to-day behaviors.
that sounds like you need to see a psychologist.
I figured-
This is my friend T.
This is
This is actually why I came.
manifestations of trauma are changing my body.
You're the smartest person I know, Harold, and you've been here for me for so long.
So you told him to see a doctor, right?
Well, I'm a free captain. I don't believe in doctorate.
Oh my! You don't believe in doctrine?
I
I'm
literally
just
just-
He kind of looks at like a side head cock, like
I close my eyes and I'm like, hence why we're here. This is the closest we can get.
well, I mean, I'm a doctor, but not that kind of doctor.
The closest we can get. I say. Convince him,
All right.
rather.
Okay, poor lad, please, just what is it you think I can help you with?
I realize that mysticism and technomancy are tangentially related, is what you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to activate Terran form.
Oh!
What the fuck?
Oh,
What is
it's a
happening
spell.
right now?
Dude! Well, it's
What?
a show. But
You're hulking out in the middle of the library.
you have not been
This
RPing.
is my good friend Harold. How dare
You
you?
have not been RPing that it's just a spell. This is like your Jekyll and Hyde form. What do you mean? This is before Bruce Banner was cool with the Hulk.
Do it. My actions don't
Do
change.
it.
Yeah, we're all freaking out.
Do it.
You see Harold kind of look at like, what the hell?
Can you like knock over a shelf because of your form change?
the grip on the book tightens a little bit.
Oh, good.
That's
Like,
it. It's since this was one of the digital ones. Like, there's a crack, and it's like
It's flickering.
I'm sorry. It's a byproduct of this form.
I don't know what this form is.
I have seen visions in my rest over the past few nights of this form taking over my body uncontrollably. And
Once again, I think you need to see a psychologist. Like, everything you've said has like led further and further down you having like some form of psychosis, not needing help with magic.
a finger in the right direction might help.
Yeah, you have psychosis and you need to see a doctor.
Harold, are there any books or anyone that studies anything close to this that we can take a visit to help with vision?
He won't see a doctor.
I said that because I was nervous. I'm sorry.
I literally just.
Well, the closest to anything mystic related that I'm aware of is Genora.
We've met Nora, haven't we?
I've given you details on Genora.
Oh.
She's a mystic, like one of the best ones for dealing with stuff with the soul. Last I heard, she was up in the political district before she was heading on her next pilgrimage, which I don't know where she was heading, but I mean, she's gonna have anything better as far as mystic related. I'm not saying there's not any basis for magic, but the form that you are in, I've heard references of it, but we focus specifically on technomancy magic, and that is not a spell any technomancers are able to cast.
Where were the references from? The context, you know? Do you
I
remember?
it's generic mystic pathways of like what type of magic you could potentially learn. It didn't get into the details of what it does to you, and even then, when it described it, it didn't imply that you developed an alternate personality.
I see. Remind me her name once more.
Genora.
Well, I don't wish to tarnish your reputation any worse than it already is with you going months without seeing your friend. But I will see my way out.
In his Karen form, as he like
Shoulder checks another shelf.
fuck, even shoulder checks like the door on his
Yeah.
way out. Like,
I slowly turn to Harold. I'm so sorry. I did not realize that's would happen.
well, not that I have any biases, but as soon as he said free captains,
No.
the doors were wide open with how that reaction or that interaction was going to go.
Story. I'm working.
I'm definitely not telling him that. Yeah, I just trying to help those along the way as I go along my way. Anyways, so
Now that the elephant has left you.
Literally and figuratively.
have you heard anything new about the PWC?
There was some mentions of them changing up a little bit of like tax laws, something about like imports into Absalom Station potentially increasing. There was a big benefit of like coming from another solar system in the PWC becoming like a resident of the Pact Worlds a little bit easier than it used to be, which seemed like a big positive. And
You said that last part. A benefit for what?
equivalent to like citizenship into the Pact Worlds
Oh.
being
Having
easier.
what's the
another
pack?
planet join.
Aren't they everywhere?
Oh,
Pact Worlds is the
joined
name of the
PwC.
solar system.
Oh, all of the planets you just showed
Mhm.
us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he's saying a new planet just joined the PwC.
No. People coming from other solar systems into the PwC can become citizens easier.
I understand.
Sorry, I'm giving you random political bullshit.
No, I mean, this might be relevant random political bullshit, though.
And there is some mention of like unusual droughts for this time of year across the solar system, but nothing really. I don't know. Is there something you were looking for?
The droughts. Have you come across any new articles on what's causing these droughts, or is anyone taking care of those droughts?
I mean, to be honest, it doesn't really apply here since we're on a space station, so like, kind of irrelevant. So like, I didn't really delve too deep into it because, I figured those planets would figure it out. We kind of go with each planet operates off of its own sort of. What's the word I'm looking for? Separation of solar system and planet. Each planet governs on their own for most stuff and only resides under the Pact Worlds whenever it's something they can't handle on their own.
Yeah, but are any students or any faculty that have recently taken an interest or anything?
And the droughts?
Yeah.
Raya, my girl, you've gone here. You know that none of these students have time for anything other than studying and going to class. And the faculty, let's be honest, like, once the students are gone for the day, most of them are going out to, the residential district for a good time before they come back for their next lecture.
Of course. I mean, I remember when I was a student so many months ago. But, I mean, I'm sure you know rumors or you haven't heard chatters or anywhere in the district that they normally hang out in or anything at all?
Rumors of what?
The PwC or the droughts or anything?
Well, I mean, any.
I know, I'm about ready.
Re-
Metapod you when you're done with your book.
I mean, any real sort of like institution of learning, most of the teachers have some sort of gripe with the government.
I lean back. And then look down.
Harold just like looks over.
You guys had a chance to know what you discovered while we were gone.
Wait, what?
What did you discover while you were talking to your parents?
What do I need to know?
Harold is like, he's kind old man, but he's watched this transpire the entire time. Like, so like,
Harold, give us just a moment, okay? We're back with you. Just 2 seconds. Just a moment.
Go to the other end of the table.
he goes back to like sorting the books like he was before you guys came in.
Delilah, there's been droughts all over these planets, but we don't really know what's causing it.
Well, they're definitely tied. We know that they're tied to the swarm.
But they're tied to the storm.
Raya, you specifically correlated that all the droughts,
You're the reason why
the
we know.
unseasonally droughts, so like locations that normally don't have droughts that have droughts right now, you tied those to swarm incursions.
Okay. I figured out when I was talking to my parents that these droughts that are appearing all over these planets, they're not normal, and they have to be tied back to the swarm. They are tied back to the swarm. If we could somehow figure out how they're starting, we can figure out how to stop them.
Well, this Harold guy seems like a trusted character. I don't think he's going to be... I think you can trust him with the information and tell him that that's what you think is happening. and ask him if he has students who would be interested in the extra credit project to figure that out. And maybe, I don't know how long we're going to stay here. We'll have to discuss it. But if we're going to stay here for long enough, maybe you can oversee said extra credit project.
Okay, Harold.
Right.
Yes, pretending like you didn't hear any of the conversation.
So, I love protecting history and the world and nature and where everything comes from. I was thinking of maybe working with some of the students here, if that would be okay.
Well, I don't necessarily have a problem with it, but you're familiar with my position as the head librarian, right? Like, I don't have any authority outside of
No.
filing books.
Yes, but you have a database of students checking out books. And you have the access to be able to give me a list of students that may want some extra credit to help me figure out why some of these really weird hotspots are happening.
Well, I can give you a list of students that come here regularly, but as far as like who needs extra credit, I don't track how they're doing in any of their classes, aside from the desperation that I can smell off of them while they're in here.
And this is why I trust you, Harold.
Okay, I'll give you a list in the order of like how often they're here, kind of implying how desperate they may be for extra credit. But as far as like actually delivering on this promise that you're giving, you would need to talk with their instructors.
Of course, of course.
I hope that list of students is in alphabetical order because he's the librarian.
Yeah. He'll give you the list. You can see that there's like one at the top, and you kind of immediately can rule out this is someone that needs extra credit because while they have the most hours in the library, you remember this as like a first year that had basically tested out and was like in his fourth year already.
Oh.
So he lives in the library simply because, like, he likes being in the library, similar to yourself.
I think you should.
But maybe he'd like studying these things.
Maybe you should look at the bottom of the list.
Yeah.
Because it's the people who aren't studying that need the extra credit.
I was thinking along the same lines. The kids who aren't in the library are the ones who need the extra credit. So does Harold only teach the library?
He's literally just the head librarian.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I want from him.
Well, like his other thought process of talking to professors about maybe we should wait for the second list.
I mean, you have the list. You can organize it however you wish.
Okay. Let's sort the list. Give it to John here to sort it in an Excel file. By the
Print it out on his fax.
The library enough who need more.
Yeah, let's do. Okay, cool. So I take the list from Harold. Okay. And I look back over at Dylan. Thanks, Harold! And then we kind of shimmy over into the corner.
Alright,
so
bye!
And be out of earshots of Harold. Alright, so we have the list. We should probably give it to John and have him send out emails to their student email or whatever it's called in this world, and see if we could get any information about any research that they've recently done. But
we could just ask them who's interested in extra credit first. They don't have to know what the extra credit project is, but then we get all the desperates who will do whatever we ask.
Flyers.
We could, but what if
Liars, he says. Good point.
But what if we find someone who is actually already working on that?
That's true too.
I say we just blanket and see what information we come up with.
And then maybe in the bottom we can say extra credit opportunity.
Yeah. But, so, I love your plan. How are we going to get them?
Well, you've already talked to Harold.
Like, brilliant.
Well, Harold will talk to the professors for us.
Oh man, it's a good thing T is. Harold will make this work. T will just tell you.
No,
offer
we'll
it, but
network.
don't give it.
So we have to
Offer it, but don't give.
we have to work backwards here, okay? So we're gonna send the email to the students, and that we're interested, we'll reach out to their professors, and then be like, okay, so Harold's our guy, all right? He told us this is okay. Is it okay if you give this student extra credit for doing this project with us? And hopefully they say yes.
And I don't know how any of this like craziness works. Just know that I love work, and they obviously any teacher that sees you doing extra work
That's
will
what
take
I'm
care of
saying.
teacher's pet, and it would work great. Okay, I love this plan.
I think it will
I
work.
think it will great. We'll keep the list back to John when we get back on the boat.
The revolution will be built on the backs of students.
Slate, I mean,
If we're being honest.
Yeah.
indentured servitude.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we're just like, okay,
Dude.
and then just let
Really
it down.
down.
Shookie's like, I want extra credit.
And then later I was like, well,
Oh, Cookie.
it's okay. She's just remember she's a puppy. She's just really
She's
excited.
really nice. She's really
Yeah,
nice.
remember when babies they get really crazy? She's just a baby puppy.
Okay.
She'll calm down in just a minute.
Anything else with the library?
No, poor librarian.
Okay.
I'll just like before we leave, I'll like wave at him and be like, I do recognize you or something. Like give him a little eye so he knows. Cookie, it's okay. Goodness.
Wow.
All right. Heading over to the Black Market District.
I was thinking about potentially going to whatever contact I would have had from my past being like the merc. Is there an NPC I could go to somewhere in the black market that I've worked for under in the past?
You had made contact on Absalom Station for like details on Rejuvenor before you guys had left Absalom Station originally. You don't know his name. Like you have a method for getting in touch with him, and you like it's a Berthani, which is what lucked out with him being able to get information on Rejuvenor in the first place because he was from Verces.
Right.
But whenever you meet him down there, it's the same sort of spot that you met. A little bit darker alleyway, but because this district is known for this, it's not like it's super hidden. Because like as soon as you go down to this district, people know you're doing some shadier stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll just follow my instincts then. I will say, as I am trying to find someone to have this job taken care of for me, John will have a moment of self-reflection and realize, like, the last time he was here and the state that he was in and I don't know. He's really feeling his new red suit of armor, or his new suit that he has. He feels a lot better about himself, and the last time he was here, he's all scrapped up. And so John has a little bit of a self-confidence boost going back down into the black market district because of feels like he's in a better standing in life. And yeah, so I'll go find somebody.
Good to see you again. What is it you're after this time?
I'll look to the individual. I have a pretty serious request, and I will pay a very high amount of credits to get it done. It involves the inner circle. I'll kind of look around.
The inner circle. Well, going from hunting a fugitive to political overtures. Quite the mountain you're climbing here.
Are you familiar with said mountain?
Well, one of the main things we deal with in the black market is knowledge. So knowing the inner circle was part of the gig. Because you know who needs the black market more than anybody? Shady political organizations.
Yes, yes, yes. And John starts to like put it all together in his little robot head. Yes, okay. I am under the assumption that there are a few that potentially may be corrupt, if not corrupt, have the wrong idea of how to lead a galaxy of people. John will start to realize he's monologuing. Clear his throat. So this is what I need done. I have a lot of money. Before I start making suggestions, based off of my own work I've done in the past as a merc, I know I haven't necessarily done any shady stuff for government factions per se. Do I have a bead on what would be an appropriate price for what I'm going to ask? Because I don't want to lowball myself, but I also want a specific amount that could. I mean, it won't give me any guarantees of the job getting done, but I want it, open the door for negotiation.
It's going to depend on where you're going with your request. If it's just knowing who's on the inner circle, price is relatively cheap. Knowing intimate details of the inner circle, like what type of meta-wise, what class they are, what planet they're overseeing. Now, granted, you could get the name and then be able to correlate it, so like that one's not too far of a stretch. But like, what type of personality and like motives that drive them, that's gonna bump the price up. So basically, like, if you're trying to get into like,
the type of information I want is the type of information you would need to like steal someone's identity. I want like social security type information. I want like banking information, like sensitive information.
That type of information, because the means of them having to pull it, especially on Absalom Station, you're looking at like 1 million credits.
Okay.
He's like, actually, I don't have a.
But you got to frame it as this is like you're at a situation right now that the general public doesn't know the inner circle exists.
This individual.
The names of the inner circle are like even higher restricted. So like normally, if like the inner circle exists, think of like Avengers, where like Nick Fury's talking to the screen and they're all like blotted out, so he doesn't know who he's actually talking to.
And on profile picture type.
Yeah,
stuff.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that think of that whenever you're talking about the inner circle as like. It's a group of people that no one knows except very specific. So like, even getting their names is going to be a thing. Yeah.
All right. Would getting a list of names be more lighter on the wallet than sensitive information, or would it be just as difficult?
No, it's considerably cheaper to get names because having the name doesn't help you much outside of you knowing who it is, because you can do research after that to kind of like get political agendas, but as far as like sensitive information to like hack their systems and stuff like that, that's like high level cybersecurity type stuff.
Damn. Okay. John, in this moment, while negotiating, is realizing that the type of work he's going to be needing is from not this person. I will, however, offer 800 credits for a list of names of the PWC.
Give me a diplomacy or profession roll.
Diplomacy, or what profession?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
That should be general.
I have a
general contractor.
General contractor, yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
so that's kind of more the meta you're going with is like you took odd jobs and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay, so I will. That's plus 13.
Well,
Make it 1,000 and then you have a deal.
yeah, we bump it to 1,000. I think we have an accord.
Perfect. And I'll just like data transfer it to him.
Perfect. As you do that, he'll refer you that the head, and he'll pull up holograms of them so you like correlate images of them with the names as he's giving them. The current head of the inner circle is Asher Vox,
Oh.
the representative from the sun.
He has like strong Obi-Wan Kenobi vibes.
Another member is the robot Jade Doe, the representative from Avalon. You've also got the Ekasiti, or Ronin Steel, from Akaton.
These are inner circle. These are inner circle people.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You have the representative from Eox, the El Birion, Lyra Quintar.
She looks evil as hell.
It's the purple.
And the last member, or at least currently, is Isuda, the representative from Liavara.
What? It's not a cloud with.
They're referred to as a dreamer, which is like a kind of like a cognitive like glass clouds or gas cloud sort of thing.
It reminds me of
Lumpy Space Princess.
kind of, yeah, like it's from Adventure Time. It's like a galactic figure that has like a. It doesn't matter.
You guys have seen one of these before because one of the members of like the Liberation Force was the more sentient, or these ones come from like a collective on a different planet, but
Oh, okay.
Liavara is kind of a protectorate of the Pact Worlds because like the Saturn, the planet itself is all gaseous, so there's not like cities and stuff on it.
Sure.
But these dreamers float through the gaseous material.
So one more quick clarifying question.
Mhm.
So in the Pact World Council, there are 2 representatives from Absalom Station, and one of them's part of the inner circle.
No,
Because pretty much Stella.
she's from Absalom Station. You had the one you're confusing is Jane Doe. She's from Avalon.
Oh, I keep doing that, dude. Okay, all
So
right.
she's from the robot world, first planet in the solar system.
Gotcha.
One of them's from the sun.
Yeah.
One of them's from the 4th planet, Akaton.
Huh?
One of them's from the planet that looks like Saturn.
Huh?
One of them's from the Eox, which is referred to as the undead world because a lot of them became necromancers.
Okay, well, I will store this information deep within my databanks. And I'm realizing, as I make my way back up after this short stint down in the black market, I'm realizing that I'm going to have a more personal conversation with pretty much Laura and Dylan, Bruce. Because she's really our. She's
I just want to see Camilla every time.
Ever since you said that's what I say, I'm
Yes,
trying not to say it, but like it fits.
The sounds were there.
Kumara Melacruz. This is only the first name I gave you in session 1.
Oh, it's embarrassing. I hate it. I can't escape it. It's a curse. But yeah, as I'm like making my way up one of the shafts, up in the elevator, I'll just kind of think to myself like, I'm gonna have to get her involved more so than she already is, and test those waters out.
Mhm.
So I'll keep that for a later time.
Perfect. Well, friends, it's 10:50.
Yeah, I was about to say it's getting close to that time.
So we can keep pressing with RP if you'd like, but we're also at probably a decent spot for
Yeah.
ending the
We'll
session.
pick up next time and have dinner at the Greek restaurant.